I did my first tour in 2006, and it was a rough tour. We didn't expect what we got into, the amount of fighting, and it was hard on everybody. Like every event that I witnessed, I stuffed and felt that I would deal with it later, and I never did, and I was a mess when I came home. When I got back to Edmonton, my wife and I went to Heritage Days, and I had a complete meltdown. Like I literally felt like I was back in Afghanistan, and I was looking for my gun. And
I was in Iraq in 2003, and in September of that year, I was wounded by a roadside bomb just north of Baghdad. We just drove into an ambush. The device was command detonated in front of my vehicle, and the shrapnel tore through the floors of the truck. At the time, it damaged the leg, causing an open fracture of both bones in the lower right leg, and after about 2 years, that led to an amputation.
I think it was a buildup of not dealing with it and trying to put it aside and deal with it later. And then eventually one thing turned to 30 and my mind couldn't make sense of anything, and I just fell apart.
For post-traumatic stress, these are guys or gals that have had severe trauma. They've had a serious incident in their life where they thought they could have died, or caused grievous bodily injury to themselves, like people in the military deploying to combat, and they help them deal with their stresses and anxieties and things of that nature.
Like it just self-destruct, because I didn't know how to deal, and I didn't want to deal, and I just wanted to forget. Yeah, it's like literally being overseas, but you're not.
A service dog is any dog that is trained to mitigate a psychological or physiological need for an individual. There's lots of different types of service dogs out there. We focus specifically on post-traumatic stress. Because of my military background in training these guys, we're able to get these dogs out now rather than later, and for a lot cheaper than what most people charge. For a service dog, for us, our costs are down to anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 on average.
I didn't know what a service dog was until 2 years ago. It's a dog that is trained to understand your anxiety, your not so much flinchiness, but your panic. Some dogs can help with nightmares.
The veterans are used to having a platoon-sized element of 30 people or so watch their back. When they get out of the military, they just don't have that. So the dog actually takes the place of those 30 people.
Chico is my service dog. We've been paired together less than 2 weeks. And in that time, he has, in just about every way, completely changed my life.
When you have PTSD and you walk in a room, you think everyone's staring at you. When you walk in a room, everyone's staring at your dog, and your dog helps you to forget about everyone else.
Various types of assistance. They can pick things up when you drop them. He helps me going up and down stairs, on ramps, walking, moving. He can turn on lights and fetch things and help distract me when I'm having pain issues.
The other thing that these guys do is they can actually detect the onset of anxiety. The stressors of anxiety are actually a chemical and physiological change in the body that the dogs can detect, and they let you know what's going on, and they'll actually come distract you when you start to show signs of anxiety. My brother was diagnosed with severe post-traumatic stress while serving, and we went to go look for service dogs for him, and was found out that it was going to cost $20,000 to $30,000. Dogs weren't very well trained. It was a 2 to 4 year wait, and we didn't think that this was right. We didn't see the legitimacy in it. And so I called the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, that governs all the service dogs, and we called and found out what the real deal was, and I've been training dogs ever since. We've been trying to do the right thing and get as many dogs, as many veterans that need them.
Part of my healing was I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to engage them before they engaged me, to show that I am getting better. I was doing okay. I wasn't, trying to talk to everybody that I could. I was still being picky and, being suspicious of people. And then I learned that at the gala, they were giving away a service dog, and I didn't think it was me. I was like, oh, they're talking about, some guy, and good for him. And then they said my name and walked to me with the dog, and I was like, uh-oh. But right away that night, I started bonding with her, and then the next morning, especially, like, we went for a walk, and it was like a perfect match.
Hi, I'm Bob McGrath, Bob from Sesame Street, Big Bird's best buddy, Bob. And this is my second Wounded Warrior. I did one last year in Saskatchewan, and this is wonderful again this year. They are probably my #1 favorite enterprise ever.
It's a weekend to heal, to make new friends, to meet old friends, and to be with other guys that are going through what you're going through. In the beginning, I didn't know what to think of it, but now I know it's a time to make friends, and if need be, I could be kind of an example that it does get better. And by no means am I cured. Like, I don't think it's curable, but I actually wake up and I'm happy. So to me, that's a victory.
There was a little Australian shepherd last year that I got to know, and he had his own little card. His name was Spirit, and on the card he talks about him. The dog talks about himself, and then the warrior that has him said, "He has made the entire difference in my life having him." He said, "Just think of him as a wheelchair for my mind," and that really touched me, because that's precisely what they do.
Being here is an incredible opportunity. Being surrounded by vets that are all family, and it didn't really matter what nationality we served in. If you were from the UK, Australia, Canada, or the States, we're all in the same family. We're all in the same boat. And being able to hang around with people that know where you're coming from and have an idea at least of what you've been through is tremendously beneficial for all of us, I think.
Alpha Canine, we donate service dogs to the Wounded Warrior Weekend every year. This will be the second dog. We had help with the sponsorship of this dog with our dog food supplier, Tuscan Natural, but these guys are here to be donated to a wounded Canadian veteran.
What these guys have done for us and are continuing to do is really admirable, and they need a tremendous amount of help. And so the whole psychiatric dog program they have is just extraordinary. I've had a chance to meet a lot of the guys that have met them, that have owned them.
The reward isn't really presenting the dog to the veteran. The reward is reality giving the dog back to the family. It's the first time that vet's gonna be able to take his kids out to the park, be able to watch their kids graduate or play sports. The wife gets free time, because most of these wives are so involved with taking care of their spouses and that they don't have a chance to do anything for themselves. So That's what they get to do for the first time in their life.
And I was really happy to get her. And this year I was really excited to come and to show how great I've been doing. And she's made my life so much easier. But like I said, I wake up happy every day, and I'm not dreading the day, and I'm not, counting down the days to the anniversaries of, all the bad things that happened on tour. Like every day's a new day now.
Oh, gaat er leren die?